Hello, dear friends. How are you doing today? It's Patrick here. I wanted to share with you something that jumped out at me from Revelation chapters 2 and 3. And what it is this is the book of Revelation written by John while he's on the island of Patmos. He's quoting Jesus here. Jesus is talking to the seven churches. He's talking about the seven spirits of God. He's talking to the seven churches, and he's encouraging them, admonishing them, giving these churches advice, and he's revealing this message through John, and John is recording this message, right? But the part that jumped out at me is that through the seven separate instructions to the seven churches, the Lord uses the term "to he that overcomes," and some translations say "to he that conquers," or "to he that wins the victory," in some translations. So, to he that overcomes, there's a message there of an opportunity for victory in the Revelation chapters 2 and 3, an opportunity for victory, and it's repeated 7 times. And each time, the opportunity for victory comes with a specific reward, a description of the reward to the one that perseveres. We face so many battles, so many struggles within our own mind, from those around us, from things within our community, things within our country, things within the media. A lot of it is in our own mind. A lot of it comes from those around us. Sometimes it's our fault. Sometimes it's other people's fault. But there's a lot of struggle. There's a lot of conflict. And with struggle, there is opportunity for victory. There's an opportunity to overcome our own weakness, even though we fail, to overcome the battles that come against us. And we're told that our battles are not against flesh and blood, but they are against the principalities and powers in the high places. So there are evil forces that want to push us down, that want to defeat us, that want to push our buttons and take advantage of our weaknesses, exploit those weaknesses to essentially destroy us. This is what we have to overcome. It's a serious battle that we are in as human beings on this planet. And so we're told here, Revelation chapter 2, the first mention, it says, "To he that overcomes, to him I will give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God." So the first promise we have for persevering, for overcoming, for winning victory, is to be able to eat of the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God. That's an amazing promise, right? Remember the tree of life in the Garden of Eden? It says, let's prevent them from, now that they've eyes are open, let's prevent them from eating from the tree of life, lest they live forever, right? And so this is, our own mortality. We're only here for a limited time. But to eat from that tree of life in the paradise of God, to live forever with God, to participate in what he has planned for us in eternity. Some people over 3 cities, some people over 10 cities, some people judging the 12 tribes of Israel, some people in specific tasks or positions to rule and reign forever. All these, we don't know what could be involved. But if we have so many different opportunities here on the earth, imagine how many different opportunities there will be in the paradise of God. And we will have the opportunity to take a part of that if we will persevere, if we will overcome the battles that we are in. The next one, he that overcomes shall not be hurt of the second death. That's the second one. So there's a first death, and there's a second death. We're told that death and Hades get thrown into the lake of fire. So you can die. Some people die, sleep. Some people die, go to Hades. Catholics believe in purgatory. We're not sure all what the opportunities are after death, but it says that there is a second death. But if somebody overcomes, and someone perseveres, someone that conquers, someone that gains the victory over themselves, it says they shall not be hurt by the second death. Number 3, it says, "To him that overcomes, to him I will give of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone, and upon the stone a new name written, which no one knows but he that receives it." This is an amazing promise. A new name that no one knows but he that receives it. It is a metaphor indicative of a private relationship between you and God. That there is something uniquely special that no one else can share. Only you and God are going to share this special name that he has for you, right? A new name written, which no one knows but he that receives it. It's this individuality. He knows exactly who you are. Remember when he called the different apostles, he gave a lot of them different names. He said, you're Peter. You're Simon. I'm gonna call you Peter now. And he often gave different names to people that he met. And this is the same thing that'll happen if we overcome these battles that we're going to face. We'll get a new name. And then that's number 3. Number 4, he that overcomes, he will keep my works unto the end. To him will I give authority over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of the potter are broken to shivers. As I also have received of my Father, I will give him the morning star. He that has an ear, let him hear. Right. So this 4th one is even more detailed, and it says, to him that overcomes, to him that conquers, that wins the victory, that keeps my works unto the end. So we're told here a little better description about how to overcome. Keep his works until the end. Remember, faith without works is dead. What are the works of God? Let him that works the works of God. They asked Jesus, what is the works of God? And Jesus said, you want to know what the works of God is? To believe in him whom he has sent. So if we want to know what the works of God are, all we have to do is believe in him whom he has sent. That is Jesus the Christ from Nazareth. We look at his life and follow what he did, what he said. That he cared for the poor and the widow and fed those who were hungry and made himself available for healing and serving. He didn't come to be served, but he came to serve others. And so we follow his example, right, of loving your neighbor, that keeps his works, that love your neighbor as yourself. If you hate yourself, you're going to end up hating your neighbor. So you got to, learn to forgive yourself and pick yourself up even after a significant failure. You might lose your temper, and you got to pick yourself right back up and say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. That's not what Jesus would do. You got to keep pushing forward, keep trying, and pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and move forward so that you can gain that victory, so that you can overcome. That's number 4. And he says, I will give authority over the nation. He'll rule them with a rod of iron. This is a direct parallel to Psalm 2, right? He says, ask of me, and I'll give you the nations. You'll rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of the potter are broken to shivers. That's such a magnificent promise that it's beyond our very often anyway, it's beyond our ability to understand, because we think, well, I'm just one person. What can I do? You look at David. He was just one person, but he was able to defeat Goliath. And he was able to lead a whole nation and conquer nations. Just one person. So you're in a position where you're going to be facing some serious battles. And it's a parallel for conquering the strongholds around you. They don't necessarily have to be physical nations or countries or something like that, but your own mountain can be as significant as defeating a nation. It could be, a bad habit. It could be something that bothers you. It could be an illness. These are just as serious mountains in God's eyes, because he cares about you so much, right? So that's the 4th one. And we go on. The 5th one, it says, to he that overcomes, and I'm using he as he or she, right? To he or she that overcomes shall thus be arrayed in white garments. I will in no wise blot his name out of the book of life, and I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. What a promise that is, right? White garments, it's a sign of purity, where we cast aside this carnal body that's prone to all its appetites and desires. That gets passed away, and we get a new body. White garments, right? A sign of purity and holiness before God. And I will in no wise blot his name out of the book of life. I'll confess his name before the Father. This is the danger that we face. This is why we should fear the Lord. That if we give up our faith, if we turn and say, okay, I'm going to try and, instead of being a faithful believer in Christ, I'm going to try and destroy Christ like Judas did. I mean, we can deny Christ accidentally, like Peter did. He said, I don't know the man. And we can accidentally do that through our actions, our words, our thoughts even sometimes. But we can be forgiven. But if we actively try and destroy Christ, become an antichrist, and say, I'm going to destroy Jesus, I'm going to tear down what he built, then we are in danger of having our name blotted out of the book of life, right? And we never want to reach that position. And so that is what's mentioned in the fifth overcoming promise. And then the sixth one, he that overcomes, I'll make him a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go out from there no more. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, the new Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven from my God, and my own new name. So he says, going to write upon you the name. And it's a metaphorical pillar, a bastion of truth and solid, righteousness. Not an actual pillar like of stone or something, but it says you're going to be a part of God's kingdom, and you can't be removed from that kingdom anymore. You become a permanent member of God's family, a permanent member of God's kingdom, and of the new city of God, right? And then he says, write upon him the name of God, a new name. So again, he gives you that secret name that only you know. He can write a name upon you, and you'll have a name, maybe, almost like a tattoo. You see people today and they have tattoos all over the place. It's very common for young people to get tattoos. Well, maybe in heaven he'll give you a new name. It's written on I don't know. Could be like that. It's interesting to think about. That's the sixth promise. And then the last one, the seventh promise. He that overcomes, I'll give him to sit down with me in my throne, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear. He often says that and repeating it, right? If you have ears, listen to what the Spirit is saying to the churches. So these messages are to the churches, but he's saying if you got ears, listen to what the Spirit is telling the churches and take on them yourself. And these are only the parts about overcoming, but in each separate message, there's parts about, repenting, go back to your first love, be careful that you don't fall. So there's a lot more in there than just these seven. I've only shown you the overcoming parts that jumped out at me, but there's so much more in those first couple of chapters of Revelation, chapters 2 and 3. So if you get a chance, I hope you'll be encouraged by that, and I hope that will be a blessing to you wherever you are. So again, thank you so much for watching. God bless you. I hope you have yourself a wonderful day. I love you very much. I pray that you are healthy and happy wherever you are. So enjoy your day, and thank you for watching. God bless you. We'll talk to you again real soon, okay? Bye-bye now.